Next quadrilateral that we're talking about is a kite. Kite is quadrilateral with exactly two pairs of consecutive congruent sides. And so here's what we mean by the consecutive, one right after the other. So here's the first pair, here's the second pair, just like the kite that you flew when you were a kid, or maybe even still fly now. It's kind of fun to fly a kite. Two terms associated with that, and using the notation that we have talked about in class. You look at this, you say, if the quad is a kite, then the diagonals are perpendicular. And so here's an example of theorem number one right here. And this is a kite because we have a quad with consecutive sides congruent. If you draw these diagonals, they're perpendicular to each other. Now you might think there's another shape that we've talked about that has diagonals perpendicular to each other, and that's called a rhombus. And so, yeah, a kite, I'm sorry, let me say this right. A rhombus is a kite. Okay, it's a special type of kite. But a kite, however, is not necessarily a rhombus because not all the sides are the same. Okay, let's look at the second theorem. The second theorem says if the quad is a kite, then one pair of opposite angles are congruent. And sometimes our students have a tough time telling which is the one pair of opposite angles that are congruent. And here's the trick to it. It's the angle that's between the non-congruent sides. So these two angles right here are congruent. These other two may not be congruent. These are the only two that you're guaranteed that are congruent in that. So that's our video on kites. There'll be one tomorrow on trapezoids, and then we'll be at the end of the chapter. Thanks for listening.